In this unit, we will be talking about order of operations. If we have a mathematical expression that we need to simplify, like 3 plus 8 divided by 4, we need to have a standardized way of simplifying it. Do we add the 3 and 8 first, or do we divide 8 by 4 first? Well, mathematicians came up with a standard way of doing the operations in a certain order called the order of operations. The acronym used to describe the order in which we complete the operations is PEMDAS. You might have heard the mnemonic device to remember this as "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally," or you might have heard a different one. Using mathematical terms, PEMDAS stands for parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. Something that you will note is that multiplication and division rank equally, so we do them in the order that they appear from left to right. Addition and subtraction also rank equally, so we do them in the order that they appear from left to right. Let's use PEMDAS to simplify example 1. We want to simplify the expression 3 plus 8 divided by 4. So 3 plus 8 divided by 4. We're going to run down our PEMDAS list. So the first thing we want to look for are parentheses. There are no parentheses, so we can move on to the next one. Then we want to move on to exponents. There are no exponents, so we can move on to multiplication or division, which there is a division. So now we're going to do 8 divided by 4. So we'll have 3 plus 8 divided by 4 is 2. Now, there's only one operation left, which is addition, so we can go ahead and simplify that to get 5. 3 plus 2 is 5, so our final answer is 5. Example 2 says, Esmeralda goes to the store and buys 6 plantains for $2 each and 4 jicamas for $3 each. Write a numerical expression to represent this situation and then find the total cost in dollars using order of operations. So we want to figure out the total cost. We know that she buys 6 plantains and those cost $2 each, and she also buys 4 jicamas and those cost $3 each. And to get the total cost, we would add those two values together. So going down the list again, we're looking for parentheses. Now, we look inside the parentheses and there's no operations happening within the parentheses. These parentheses are just indicating multiplication. There's no operations happening within them. So we can go ahead and move on to our next operation, which is exponents. There are no exponents here, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to multiplication. Now there is multiplication, so here we have 6 times 2, which is 12. And then we have another multiplication, 4 times 3 is 12, so we'll have 12 plus 12. And finally, our last operation is addition, so 12 plus 12 is 24. And then we can say her total cost is $24. Let's talk about fraction bars in terms of order of operations. Although a fraction bar is another way to indicate the operation of division, when it comes to the order of operations, it should also be thought of as a grouping symbol. In other words, the fraction bar groups everything in the top together, and it also groups everything in the bottom together, just like parentheses would. So we want to simplify the expression 17 minus 2 times 3, all divided by 9 minus 4 using order of operations. So to make things even clearer, I'm going to put parentheses around the top of the fraction bar and parentheses around the bottom of the fraction bar to represent that these are grouped together like that. Now I can run through my list. So parentheses, so we're going to do the operations within the parentheses. So we'll do the operations on the top and then do the operations on the bottom. So inside the parentheses, we'll look for exponents, which there are none. Then we'll look for multiplication, which there is. So this is going to equal 17 minus 2 times 3, which is 6. And since the only remaining operations in both sets of parentheses is subtraction, I can go ahead and do those now. So 17 minus 6 is 11, and then 9 minus 4 is 5. And 11 is not divisible by 5, so we can keep it a fraction like this. So our final answer is 11/5. All right, so let's go over some more order of operations examples. Let's look at number 1. So I'm going to go down my order of operations, so parentheses. And so we have parentheses here, so we're going to simplify the expression inside the parentheses first. And there's only one operation, so that's going to simplify to 9 times 3 plus 3 is 6, and then divided by 6 like that. And then are there any exponents? There are not, so I can move on to multiplication and division. So notice here that there are both multiplication and division happening, so they rank equally. And so I'm just going to read from left to right, and the multiplication is happening first. So 9 times 6 is 54, and then I would do the last operation, and 54 divided by 6 gives us 9. All right, so I'm going to erase my list for number 2. So I'm going to do parentheses. So that means that I want to complete everything within the parentheses first. And within those parentheses, the next thing that pops up is the exponent. So let's simplify the exponent first. We have 9 plus 18 minus 3 cubed is the same thing as 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. Okay, now within the parentheses, the next things that are popping up are addition and subtraction, and those rank equally, so I'm going to do those first. So 9 plus 18 is 27, minus 27 divided by 8, and then we find that 27 minus 27 is 0, so we have 0 divided by 8, which is just 0. So our final answer there is 0. All right, let's do number 3. So let's run down the list. We have parentheses, and we have a set of parentheses down at the bottom here. So multiplication comes first. I'm going to kind of do this in a couple steps. So we'll do the multiplication first inside the parentheses. So 6 times 2 is 12, and then I'm going to subtract 5 from that, which gives us 7. So I have 3 times 2 minus 1 plus 3 over 9 minus, and we found the thing in the parentheses to be 7. All right, so now I'm going to do the multiplication in the top because that comes first. That's the next thing that we want to do. So 3 times 2 is 6, minus 1 plus 3 over 9 minus 7. And addition and subtraction rank equally, so I can do all the addition and subtraction in the top. So 6 minus 1 is 5, and then 5 plus 3 is 8, and then 9 minus 7 is 2. So we have 8 divided by 2, which gives us a final answer of 4. I will leave it to you to do the rest of these, and please do note that the answers are on the bottom so you can check your work after you've completed them.